And effectively he said, and if you come to my court, which is where everybody's going to sue, I'm going to hold you responsible for all that. So effectively, each clerk trying to make this decision on whether or not he's going to follow his ruling is deciding, do we try to make some sort of point that the community may want us to make and pick a side? And if we do that, do we then put our community's resources, financial resources at stake? In other words, so were I to choose to go against Judge Hinkle's ruling, then we start hiring lawyers, we start going to court and doing court battles, and I'm effectively putting our community's financial resources at stake when a judge tells me that not only are you going to lose, I'm going to make you pay for it if you do lose. So he's effectively told everybody that. So the game is rigged for us if they sue us from day one. Now, a lot of people were saying that Judge Hinkle's ruling was sort of a one federal judge going rogue, because 60% of the Florida voters had voted for this amendment to the Florida Constitution. And so you got one guy, one federal judge going rogue. And I tell people that say that, that's not accurate. The reason I say it's not accurate is because Attorney General Bondi petitioned the Supreme Court to tell him to stop what he was doing and hold off until we can talk about it. The whole Supreme Court ruled 5-4 that they weren't going to get involved in his decision, effectively saying that we didn't think, the Supreme Court didn't think that Judge Hinkle was off road doing whatever he wanted to do. So that was another factor that we had to take into account. And so it came down to, as a financial administrator for this county, do I put our resources in jeopardy to make some sort of point that the community may want me to make a point on? And collectively, the clerks decided that's not our role to pick sides and try to fight over points. Our role is to follow the law. And so at that point, collectively, all the clerks, the 67 clerks in Florida, decided that the law had settled to the point to where we were required by law to issue licenses. And that's what we started doing on the 6th of January. And now there are certainly a ton of different opinions. Florida politically is probably split 50-50 or close. Not Northwest Florida. Our community is staunchly Republican, staunchly conservative. But statewide, it's 50-50. And so the clerks wanted to extract themselves from the debate, because we're not the decision maker. The courts and the legislators are the decision makers. We want you to trust the system that we're doing. And so, because we're the administrator of the system. So we try not to pick sides. Local concern. That's, each individual clerk can decide that for themselves. We're not mandated to do that. Based on our community, based on talking to my employees who have to perform the ceremonies, based on my thought that government competing with the private sector, we've got a fairly robust marriage industry here in Okaloosa County. So based on not wanting to compete with that, and based on trying to extract ourselves out of the debate, I chose at our office to stop performing the ceremonies. Doesn't mean you can't bring whoever can perform the ceremony to the courthouse with you. I'm not banning it from the courthouse, because I don't get to do that. I don't own the courthouse, the county does. I'm just saying that my employees are not going to, as a business practice, be required to perform ceremonies. And I don't get to pick who we're going to perform it for and who we're not, so we got out of the business and effectively extract ourselves from the debate is my plan. Now, did it work? There's a lot of controversy, and there's certainly a lot of opinion from the paper and a lot of opinion from folks. But I felt like we've been effectively extracted ourselves out of the conversation. Statewide, 34 clerks stopped doing ceremonies completely. 33 continue to do them. So there's a lot of it's based on local county politics.